What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one, we go over what Sherrone Moore had to say about Michigan offensive line, current starters, and also why freshman Andrew Babalola is fighting for a starting spot. We go over that, plus some big updates on quarterback Mikey Keene, safety Rod Moore, as well as an update on the transfer portal for Michigan. Are the Wolverines done adding players? We also got some recruiting news on a couple offensive linemen, and an update on Havon Finney, a top cornerback target for the Wolverines. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is what head coach Sherrone Moore said on the offensive line as he spoke on an interview with John Jansen on the In the Trenches podcast this week. And, one of the first things he said after the spring game is that 3 current offensive linemen for Michigan are currently in starting spots, and he listed off names like Giovanni Ohadi at left guard, graduate Greg Crippen at center, and then also sophomore Andrew Sprague at right tackle. But he also pointed out in the podcast that nothing is set in stone. He said, you have a depth chart that you have day one, these guys go out, but I think every day there has to be competition. So even those guys that are, starters, they got to be pushed by people. So it's going to be continuous competition, not only in fall camp, but in the summer. And they're going to compete in everything they do to make sure we see who the best 5 are. But Michigan is also ultimately looking to have quite a bit of depth on the offensive line, because Sherrone Moore said, you want 10 guys to be able to go out there, help you go run and go win championships. But one freshman offensive lineman who could potentially start for the Wolverines is the 5-star Andrew Babalola, as he's competing for that left tackle position. Also, you got others like Evan Link and Brady Norton fighting for that position as well. But Sherrone Moore said that, Babalola, he's a guy that's going to be competing for that left tackle spot in the fall, and we're excited about it. Seems like he's been developing, really good so far here in his first, few months here on campus. And Sherrone Moore did say that he's probably one of the smartest human beings besides Grant Newsome that I've ever met in my life. He said we call him Newsome Jr. He was a direct admit to Ross Business School, so that takes some intelligence. But he said that he doesn't make the same mistake twice. From a physical standpoint, he's still growing. He's about 305 to 310 right now, but he's got great feet, great balance, and great flexibility, and he's surprisingly strong. So Andrew Babalola gonna be competing for that starting spot, it seems. That's what Sherrone Moore had to say on the offensive line, and also the freshman Andrew Babalola. But Sherrone Moore also gave some injury updates on both Mikey Keene and Rod Moore. He first talked about the quarterback Mikey Keene, as he said he'll be available full, hopefully full go available in June, but right now he's throwing. Now, recently it's just been Jaden Davis and Bryce Underwood in practice, because Davis Warren obviously tore his ACL. He's recovering. Chase Herbstreit, the 3-star freshman, will join the team in the summer, and Mikey Keene has been hurt. So it's just been Davis and Underwood, which is why we only got to see both of them in the spring game. But again, it does appear to be Underwood and Keene to be the top contenders to start week 1. But Moore, he said as far as fall camp, I think there's just a feeling that you kind of know when the team is rooting and with somebody, and they've grasped somebody. Obviously, they made all the throws, the reads, the completions, but they kind of become the leader of the team. He said we always talk about the offensive line running the team, but somebody's got to lead it, and you'll know at some point who that is. But that is some good news on Mikey Keene, being hopefully full go available in June, and obviously getting back to throwing the ball. And who knows, maybe this time kind of gave him the ability to learn the system and the offense under Chip Lindsey and Michigan. He obviously does have some familiarity already with Chip Lindsey and how he coaches, but and Sherrone Moore also did speak on Rod Moore. He said that he's trending in a super positive direction. Feels like he's going to be in a great place just for summer workouts and working his way into fall camp. But he said that he's just so excited, of his return. The guy who went through so much, went through the whole year, but he did say he he's felt the best he's ever felt because he had to have another surgery that really took care of the rest of it, and he's felt the best he's ever felt. He ran, he's in a good place, and again, this Michigan defense is just going to be that much more better with Rod Moore in the secondary. The defense definitely showed out in the spring game, and Michigan's going to have one of the best defenses again, it looks like. I mean, they just got playmakers. Even in the secondary, they've really built that up. But I did want to talk about some updates on the transfer portal for the Wolverines, as they did add depth to the running back room, getting the UMass transfer running back CG Hester, and then also the Princeton running back transfer John Volker. And obviously Michigan was looking at potentially some offensive tackle options, wide receiver potentially, and also potentially at cornerback, but it doesn't seem like they will be getting anybody else from the portal, according to Chris Ballas of the Wolverine. While they're still looking in the portal, the best options were too pricey per some close to it. So, we'll see. Portal closes on Friday, but, the spring portal has always kind of been not too much attractive as, the first transfer portal window. It's kind of been like that the past couple years. So I definitely would have loved to see Michigan get another offensive lineman and also another receiver. However, there is still time left. They could still potentially get somebody, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I have seen a lot of comments from you guys saying that Michigan needs to get another receiver. And while I get those comments, especially after last season with no receivers really stepping up, I've said it before, this whole offseason, I do think there is some talent in that Michigan wide receiver room, and we didn't really get to see much of the talent on display in the spring game. Donovan McCulley, we saw him emerge right away with that big catch from Jaden Davis. He didn't play really too much, though. Didn't really get to see Samaj Morgan or Frederick Moore play too much, and those are potentially going to be your three starters. We did see Channing Goodwin, the sophomore receiver, make some plays and get open for Bryce Underwood on a couple drives. But, we did see receivers drop balls as well, especially one in the end zone to, I believe it was Joe Taylor. I'm not too sure, though. And then also Jamar Browder dropped a fade. Peyton O'Leary didn't catch one that, touched his hands. But, again, these are receivers that are most likely going to be coming off of the bench, not going to be Michigan starters. So, while I get the frustration from some of you guys, we do kind of just gotta wait and see, because, the spring game has always been just, practice for the players, and you don't really get to see the Michigan starters out there on the field playing together. They're obviously not going to show much as well, but one connection I am very looking forward to is that connection from whoever the starting quarterback is to Donovan McCulley. He, I think, is going to be a stud this upcoming season for the Wolverines. But with that, I wanted to talk about some recruiting news as well for the Wolverines. And on the 2026 four-star offensive tackle, Kelvin Obot from the state of Idaho, he has gotten a top 5 list consisting of Michigan, Oregon, Nebraska, Utah, and USC. He'll also be taking official visits to those schools as well, it appears. And also wanted to give an update on Malachi Lee, another top offensive line target for the Wolverines in the 2026 class, a 4-star offensive tackle from the state of Hawaii. Grant Newsome has really made him a priority, taking frequent trips to Hawaii. And according to Ethan McDowell of On3 in the Wolverine, he says that he likes where Michigan stands and think they have a slight edge on USC and BYU right now, but it is a close recruitment. Also wanted to give a quick update on the very talented 2026 4-star top 100 cornerback Havon Finney, who did reclassify from the 2027 class to the 2026 class from the state of California. And according to Ethan McDowell of On3 in the Wolverine, Finney plans on releasing a top 3 soon. And, Michigan has been in this recruitment, making some noise a little bit. Right now, it does seem like USC, LSU are at the top, and Michigan fighting for that 3rd spot right now. Michigan's also looking to get an official visit from him as well. So there's an update there. But with that, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I greatly appreciate it. And we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.